Okay, our warm-up for today, simplifying rational expressions, day 3. Day 2, we did multiplication. Day 1, we just simplified just normal fractions. So here we're doing division of fractions. We want to make sure that we understand our rule. We can't divide fractions, so we keep the first fraction, we flip the back fraction, take the reciprocal, and change the division to a multiplication sign. When we talk about our restrictions are everything that's underneath and to the right of your original numerator. So that's going to have to be a restriction, as well as those two, if you have a monomial other than one, or other than just a regular number. So what I want to do is go ahead and change it to multiplication. So I have x squared minus 3x minus 28. All that is over 6x. And then I have times 2 over 2x minus 14. From here, we need to get everything into factored form, and then get our restrictions and cross things out. When I look at this first part, I see I have a trinomial, so I'm probably going to have two factors. The factors of 28 that give me 3 are going to be 7 and 4. So I have x minus 7 and x plus 4. I know I've done it right. Negative 7, positive 4 multiplied together give me negative 28. Negative 7 plus 4 gives me negative 3. So that's how I find those factors there. 6x is 6x. Then I have the other part, 2 on top. And then underneath that, I can take a 2 out. And that gets me x minus 7. So what I need to do is find all my restrictions. So that is everything from here over. So I have 6x equals 0, 2 equals 0, which doesn't make any sense to write that. And then I have x minus 7 equals 0. So I know that x, for my restrictions, cannot equal 0 and 7. Now I'm going to go ahead and cancel things out. X minus 7, that goes away with that one. The 2 can cancel here to a 3, and then you'd have to multiply again, or I can just get rid of the same number. So those go away. There's nothing else that cancels out. We're going to leave it in factored form. Your final answer is x plus 4 over 6x. You must leave it in factored form. That takes care of the first question. We're going to do the same thing with the second question. I want to put it in factored form, but I want to put it in order, and I also want to flip it. So with this one right here, I'm going to go ahead and change this to negative h squared plus 1, because I always want to write it in order. Everything else is in order, and then we're going to go ahead and get it in factored form. So here I've got negative h squared plus 1. Underneath that, 2h squared minus 10h minus 12. Change the sign and take the reciprocal. That gets me 6 over 2h minus 2. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and find all the factors. So here I need to take out a negative. That gives me h squared minus 1, difference of squares. So over here on top, I've got negative h plus 1, h minus 1. Down here, I can take out a 2, which leaves me with h squared minus 5h minus 6. So factors of 6 that give me 5, 6 and 1. So I have 2, h minus 6, h plus 1. I go over here, 6 is just 6. And then down here I can take out a 2, and that gives me h minus 1. What I have to do from here is find all my restrictions. Everything up here is fine, but this one, and this one, we need to find those restrictions. So I have 2, 6, and 2. They equal 0. It doesn't make any sense to write them. If it was a 2x right here, I would have to write that one. So here, h minus 6 equals 0. H plus 1 equals 0. 2, 6, nothing. And then I have h minus 1 equals 0. So I know that h cannot equal the following numbers. We've got negative 1 right here, I've got positive 1 and positive 6. That takes care of my restrictions. Now I want to go ahead and start canceling things out. I do not have a negative anywhere else, so I'm going to save that one. I have an h plus 1 here and here. Those cancel. I have an h minus 1 here and here. Those cancel. Now, the 6 can be reduced with this 2 or that 2. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm probably going to end up forgetting it if I do this one over here, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that one. This 2 goes away. This 6 changes to a 3. 3 does not reduce with that 2. What I have circled is what's part of my final answer. I've got negative 3 over 2 times h minus 6. If you forgot to make this a negative h squared plus 1, you wouldn't have had the negative in here and you would have an extra factor that wouldn't have canceled out. So you got to make sure that the leading term is positive and it's in order by degree. That takes care of your homework for today.